Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here is my watch list for February 5th. Okay, I apologize. It's a little bit late tonight. It's 2:50 already. I was busy watching my mentor's podcast, the Fallout Shelter. It's a podcast that comes out every Monday, and basically, it's got some pretty good gold nuggets in there. So after if you have time during the week, I do highly suggest you scroll into my video link description, look for my mentor trick trades YouTube channel. The podcast is free. It's highly entertaining, as well as it's got a lot of different types of trading gold nuggets in there, if you are a big fan of podcasts. So do head on over and give her a listen. Anyways, let's take a look at the futures here. We are gapping. Well, we're actually opening slightly flat tonight, and slowly grinding up to the 2720s area. This relates to the SPY as the 272. Now, opening pretty flat because we did close at the highs of 272. What I'm looking for right now, it really depends tomorrow if it can hold the support right now. I'm looking for a dip at the open to hold some sort of support around this 271 area. And if it can hold, then we could get yet another green day on the SPY. Perhaps test this highs here at 272.5 here. So let's take a look at the SPY. Overall, the SPY, what I want to note is basically as we're coming into this 200 SMA here, this pink line on the daily chart, you can see today's volume is exceptionally low. I think there is a tad bit of fear in the market as we get closer to this 200 SMA. We are a little bit overextended from the 9 EMA, so I do think there should be a pullback coming pretty soon, as the street are a little bit fearful of what's about to come. Nobody really wants to put in their hard-earned money right now, in my opinion. Just looking at this before a pullback and hold to confirm this breakout of the VWAP here. What I'm looking for is support to hold around this 270, 271 area. So let's look at that. Okay, going into the intraday chart real quick. As you can see, 271 played very well here today, and anywhere from 271 to 270.50 or 271.25. Okay. Google came out with earnings and it had a negative reaction. So overall, I think it's going to pull the SPY a little bit downwards. But Google is also a massive company, very well known. And as it comes down, I think people are going to start buying the dip on it. We also actually have support here at 271.5, but we're very close to it. So it really depends on how it opens tomorrow, right? As long as some of these levels hold, we'll be looking for a little bounce back up, perhaps like an ABCD type slow grind up because of the fear and the lack of volume, right? If this 21-24 snaps here, that's an automatically magnet to 271. So sorry, did I say 21-24? I meant 271.24. And then we should get a magnet to 271. From here at 271, though, I do really think it could bounce. That would constitute as a pullback, in my opinion. But we'll see from there. With that said, I mean, there are a lot of plays that look good to me. However, we are lacking in volume. So I'm just going to focus on a few takers tomorrow. I want to start off with GILD, GILD Sciences. It's a pharmaceutical company, a major pharmaceutical company that came out with earnings after hours today. And as you can see, it had a negative reaction. So with negative earnings reaction, what I usually like to watch is an all-day fader type of setup, a pop and drop. All right. As you can see here at the 68 to 68.25 level, we have key resistance area. All right, so 68 key psychological whole number to 68.25, right? So as long as the stock holds under this area, my thesis is a short. It's a little bit more apparent here, the 68 area on the 1 minute chart. As you can see, it's basically the first tank bounce, and then it came down again and it held a little bit, eventually snapping. I do believe some short sellers piled into this after hours move. And as this thing fades down a little bit tomorrow at the pre-market, I'm looking for a cover pop at the open. A pop and a drop scenario would be ideal, and it's actually what I'll be looking for. So once again, we have a nice resistance area. Okay, coming into the daily chart though, let's take a look here at the 68 level. You can see that it plays very well as a key support role for the prior 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and beyond here, even over here around early November, late October, it played key support. Currently, we are sitting at 67.5, so marking that off. 67.5 around this area. We have the 50 SMA right under it on the daily chart. So I want to see a pop and a drop, and the ideal first target is 67. And if 67 gives way, we could come all the way down to the 66 area as well. So that's going to be on my main watch tomorrow. Next up, we have BA Boeing. Boeing basically is a breakout. It's on breakout today, but it is still overextended. On this massive gap up, it's basically an earnings reaction, right? And they had positive earnings reaction, hence this massive gap up. And now today, Boeing actually ripped. So I want to mark off, zoom back just a tad a little bit, right here at the highs at 394.50. Okay, so it broke out of there, but it has yet to retrace and test this breakout. So what I'm looking for is a support area at 394.50 right there, as well as 394. Okay, so right around this area here, as you can see, it's the highs of the first opening pop today. Probably see it a little bit more clear on the 15-minute chart. See how this played very well as resistance. Eventually, it rounded up and broke out, and it came down a little bit, held some sort of support, but on a tad weaker volume. Okay, so it did have a nice roundup. What I want to see is a dip and a rip. If it starts fading pre-market, right? So out the gates, I'm expecting people who bought here to take some profits. As long as this support area holds, my thesis is going to be a long around this area. I'll be looking for a double bottom of some sort around here. Probably a dip hold, and once a reclaim of 395, I'll get long, okay? That's thesis number one. Thesis number two is that because the stock has closed so strong, I do think people are anticipating a spike tomorrow out the gates. And if it gaps up tomorrow, let's say it creeps up a little bit pre-market, I'm going to be looking at the key psychological area of 400 here. And if it gaps up, I want to see topping action around the 400, and this is where people will be taking profits, in my opinion. And I want to short. I want to look for a rejection signal and a sell-off signal from the 400 area, short it right back down. And then once again, we have key target areas at major support here. All right, so that's Boeing, MU, MU basically dumped and ripped back up again. Currently, we're sitting at 39.23. Really depends on what it does on the pre-market. I mean, where it dropped off today was basically the prior day closing price, right? So I'll be watching that mark again to retest and fail at the 39.60s area, as well as the highs of 39.80s. And then, of course, we have the key psychological whole number of the 40 mark as well. So any pop into this level, we will have a triple, quadruple, quintuple top. So it's looking like it's having a hard time uh, getting up and over these levels here. And with the SPY being uh, in such low volume and having so much fear, I don't think MU will be able to get back up and over. It's just a matter of time before it comes right back down and tests these lows again. It is still overextended from the 9 EMA as well, so I do like to see a red day here on MU. NVDA. NVDA, pretty easy call right here at the key psychological whole number of 150, right? And then I will be watching the highs for a double top as well around this 150.75 area. Okay, so basically right here and the highs right here. Let's take a look at this on the daily chart though. If I were to mark off 150, as you can see, it topped out pretty well in this area, right around here. Last time it reached 150, the next day it just dropped, right? It's looking like it's about to fill the gap, or it has already filled the gap today. It touched the bottom of this wick here on January 25th. So I do think a pullback day would not be asking for too much. However, it does have the possibility to get up over and start squeezing some more. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are watching for or shorted this as well, right? If I'm looking at the intraday price action here, the perfect get in here, the perfect short is this double top right here and here, right? So we have a double top at the 150.50 area, and then maybe short sellers got in here or here at this 200, right? They have yet to cover. I haven't seen the massive pop yet. So I'm looking for a cover pop at the open, test this 150 and fail. Bring it right back down to the 147.5 would be my first target right here. As you can see, we have a lot of support here. Okay. If it dips and starts holding 147.5, makes the first couple of higher lows, you can definitely take this long on the long thesis as well and take it up for a rip up to the 150s. Facebook would be next. Facebook, pretty strong today. It came late. Okay, pretty stagnant around the late day area with low volume. We are coming into the highs here at the 170, 172 area. So I want to mark those off real quick here. Right, here's the 170. Here's the 172. Okay, so as long as the stock stays under, I do like the short idea here. As long as the stock stays under this little area. The way it closed, it did hold pretty much of its gains. I am looking for a dip out the open if it opens flat tomorrow, and I expect the 168 to hold. If it doesn't hold and fall through, I'll just look for a retrace and a short from there. If it gaps up, then I'll be looking for 170, or if it opens and rip, I'll be looking at 170 and 172 area for rejection signal and a double top as well, right? So, I mean, it could come up a little bit more. 170 very apparent here, and we could possibly hit a double top at this 172 area. Okay, so definitely watching out for that. So 172, something like that. Okay, up and down. Finally, Apple, AAPL. Apple is on breakout. On daily chart, you can see very apparent. It's on a breakout right here. It has yet to pull back and test this breakout though. So tomorrow, the way it closed, I anticipate a little pop and drop. Actually, no, I think it's going to dip out the gates. We have apparent support area here at the 170 and 170.50, right? So as long as this area holds and tests, it does need to test this breakout. So I'm anticipating a dip tomorrow at the open for profit takers. Whoever bought in today, they'll take some profits. If this area holds this 170, you can definitely long it and ride it right back up to the highs of today. However, it is a little bit overextended, so I will also be watching for double topping around the highs. Maybe it can get above a little bit to 172 before it tops out. And yeah, looking at this on the daily chart here, I want to mark off, let's see. What do I have in my notes? 170, 165 would be resistance. So that's the high of today, right? 170, 165. Come on. There it is. Okay, that's the exact high of today. And you can see it's basically prior support here in this area and prior resistance in this area right here. So it made sense why it topped out here today. Tests would cause a double top, and I like for a short here at 170, 165. If it busts over the next area of resistance, it's right here, 174.75. Okay, so mark that off. Okay, so that's Apple. That's pretty much it for my watch list. I also want to put CRON on the side watch, right? This thing is parabolic stupidness. It just is, right? Look at this. I'll be watching for the first red day or a double topping action around the 25 mark. Okay. It came back up after hours, although it did sell off late day, but it did come back up after hours. And I do anticipate a pop out the gates since people are starting to cover here and looking for a cover pop and short. Let's see a double top at 25. That would be very ideal in my opinion. However, it could keep going though. I mean, I didn't think it would keep going today, and it did. And basically the prior day before and the prior day before, right? So a lot of people are getting trapped and squeezed in the stock. So got to be very careful and just wait for that lower high entry. So for example, something like today, right here, right? This was a prime entry. I personally played a little bit of it today on the lower high. I think I got in around this area at the 24, anticipating the snap. I brought it right back down to the VWAP. I didn't show you guys that in the recap because it wasn't anything fantastic. But yeah, CRON will be on watch as well. We do have earnings pre-market tomorrow. Spirit Airlines, SAVE. I'll be watching that as well as Ralph Lauren. They will be announcing earnings tomorrow. Wow, what's up with this major gap down? It's just one print too, right? So it seems like somebody knows something or somebody sold late and don't want to gamble the earnings here. So we have a massive print here on the low volume, but it is a print nonetheless. So somebody knows something, in my opinion. We'll see. Watch these two pre-market. Oh, something interesting. NIO. People call this the Netflix of China. Wow. I just looking at it now. I was interested in the name until I turned the ticker over and saw the chart. This is a barcode, so there really is no trade in this. the volume was only 8 million compared to the past few days. So any type of earnings positive reaction is gonna sell off, in my opinion, as this run up is basically people buying in pre-earnings and expecting good earnings. So if it does come out with good earnings, it's already priced in. People will sell on the first pop, in my opinion. And look at this barcode, man. I'm just gonna stay away from NIO. Okay, if you enjoyed my watch list, make sure you hit the like button. I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I do apologize once again for being so late out with tonight's watch list. And you guys have a great evening. Ciao.